I think I'm in my ghost era this spooky season because I want to do all the ghost designs, and today we're going to make an adorable little witch ghost. So I am starting out by lining out the design with my soapstone pencil from Happy Dotting Company just to kind of get my angles and my lines in. So I've got a nice big witch hat and then just a very simple ghost body. Then I'm going to pull out my Liquitex gesso to give a nice base coat because this is one of those darker stones, and white is always a tricky color. You want to make sure you have nice solid coverage. I want the ghost to be nice and bright white, and I'm just going ahead and doing the witch's hat as well just to have solid coverage of a base coat for the whole design. So Liquitex gesso is a great base coat. It's kind of a matte finish and it almost has a slightly rough texture to it when it dries, so it gives a really nice surface for the paint to grip onto. So any colors that are really difficult to get a nice solid fill, like orange and yellow and pink, it's a great base coat. So now I'm coming in with the white paint to start with getting that nice bright white color to the body of the ghost. And you can see on the shape of the ghost's body that it's kind of angling to the right because I wanted it to have that feeling like she's in motion, like she's flying through the air. So she's got kind of that flowing off towards the right with the bottom of her ghost body. I can tell here that I'm probably going to come back in and do a second coat of white paint just to get nice solid coverage. And now I'm moving on to black paint for the witch's hat, and I'm going to kind of outline it with a very thin brush, which actually the witch's hat is not huge enough where I need a larger brush to fill it in. So I'm just going to use this nice thin paint brush to fill in the entire design of the hat. And I can always come back to this where the black is meeting the white of the ghost body. Sometimes a line doesn't feel straight. You can always come back and kind of clean that up, often with the darker color versus the lighter color because it's easier to cover up any imperfections. But that's something you can always keep in mind. If the line isn't straight like you want it, you can always come through and clean that up at the end. So now I'm just going to come through and do a second coat of white paint and black paint on both elements of our ghost so far, but you can already see her kind of taking shape. Now I'm going to come back to my soapstone pencil and create the hat band on the witch's hat, and we're going to add a little pop of color here. I picked out a bright green paint for a base coat of her hat band, and then I'm going to cover this green paint once it dries with my Folk Art, the Blacklight Color Shift green paint, because it's got a cool iridescent shimmer to it, but it works best, from what I've found so far, it works best when you have a similar color base coated underneath it. Facial features are going to be very simple. We're just going to add 2 black dots for eyes and then 2 slightly larger, very light pink dots for rosy cheeks. And I'm going to swirl out the peaks of that paint. Then I'm going to come in with a Posca PC1MR and just do a simple smile. Now we're going to add that Color Shift Blacklight paint to the hat band just to give it a little extra pop of shimmer and shine, and green is a perfect witchy color for spooky season, so that's what we're going to go with. Now I'm going to come back to that Posca PC1MR paint pen and just give an outline to the entire design, just to give it a nice definition all the way around. Even the black is slightly different, so you can still see that outline showing up. Now to tie this whole design together, I'm going to pull out my Sakura Pigma fine line brush pen. This is a very fine, kind of an ink pen, and I'm going to put this on one of my little acrylic turntables, and I'm just going to spin the rock around and create kind of a raffia border. So kind of uneven circular lines going around just to kind of pull the whole design in. The shape of this rock really kind of lends itself to this, but it just ties the whole design together. You could also do some wisps of glitter paint in this same kind of circular motion just to kind of create a different look and add a little bit of sparkle to the design. And look how cute she turned out. This is such a fun and simple design. I hope you guys have fun with this one. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch, and I'll see you next time. Take care.